Welcome to Advocation X, episode number 49. Time for a newsworthy Bernie Sanders broadcast. A special thanks and hello from Clyde and the crew to all you beautiful thinking people out there. And a special thank you to our very first sponsor, Baden Optical, located in beautiful Ontario, Canada. Before we continue, please help further our cause by hitting the like button, subscribing for future content, become a member and crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing. If you wish to sponsor, please reach out. Disclaimer: ours is an opinion channel, but is based on facts, and not the alternative fact type either. Questions will be answered if you're a subscribed member of this channel. However, your suggestions are more than welcome, including your critical analysis. Topics to tackle here and now. Richest and greatest. 500,000, 500,000. Canadians. Warren. Bernie endorses. Nina Turner. Let's unpack this for you all right now. Is it not absolutely amazing that in the greatest, richest, and most powerful country in the world, where healthcare is tied to your job, how does everyone that has now lost their jobs and their healthcare feel about that? Do you still love your insurance plan? I'm sure you're not missing your copays either, are you? 500,000 or 500,000 families every year in the USA go bankrupt because of healthcare costs. I'm not sure that they like these healthcare plans for insurance plans that are so tightly tied to their jobs either. I don't think they would call them wonderful. Considering most of the individuals who had lost their jobs and therefore their health plans in accordance with jobs moving overseas, which were voted on by these transatlantic treaties and trade agreements and NAFTAs and everything else you can think of. So all of your jobs are gone. All your healthcare plans are gone with those jobs. And now you have nothing to help you combat this super bad cold illness, disease. I'm just going to put it out there for you guys. It's really time to consider healthcare for all as a human right. Healthcare for all as a human right. And I don't care what party you support. I don't care if you're an independent. I don't care what else you think. If you cannot see the value of having healthcare for everyone, that means not just other people, that means you too. That means your loved ones. That means your children. That means your mother, your father, aging, needing healthcare down the road. Yeah, that means everyone. So, let me move on, please. Just to quote a little fact. Canadians live longer than you do in the US of A, with a universal healthcare system that costs half as much as the insurance-run healthcare system in the United States of America. I would say unequivocally that Canadians have the higher level of life expectancy as well as a higher quality of life expectancy. Just imagine never worrying about bankruptcy because you fell ill. Such a reduction in stress could actually save many lives that would succumb to a smaller illness compounded by massive stress. Okay, let me move on to another controversial subject. Elizabeth Warren says yes to a question posed to her by Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. On the talk show interview, Rachel Maddow presses Elizabeth Warren with a somewhat incredulous smirk or grin on her face. If you were to be asked by presidential nominee Joe Biden to be his running mate, what would your answer be? I believe it took all of a quarter of a second for Elizabeth Warren to say yes. If you look way back in my previous episodes, you will find where I predicted that Elizabeth Warren's endorsement would go to the highest bidder. And I actually specified offering her the VP opportunity, or at least the possibility. It seems she's made her choice. Okay, let's move on to Bernie, who endorses Joe Biden. But guys, get over it. It's what he said he would do from the very beginning. He was the only candidate on that stage that said whoever had the plurality of the vote should be the nominee, and he would then endorse that nominee and work hard to get that nominee elected, because he knew the dangers of leaving you-know-who in office for another 4 years. So, of course, Bernie endorsed him. I don't know what other people expected him to do. Had he had the plurality of the vote, he expected also to be nominated, and he expected to get support from the other candidates. Anyways, so as we know, on that stage, other than him, all the other candidates were waffling. They absolutely were against anybody having just a plurality of the vote and becoming the nominee. However, it seems that Mr. Joe Biden now does not have 51%, but he does have a plurality of the vote. So are all those other guys going to now step up and go, well, no, he's not the presumptive nominee because he needs to get the majority of the votes. Anyway, let's see how this unfolds. It looks to be one of the more interesting battles that should be coming up. So let me move on from Bernie Sanders endorsing Joe Biden, which does seem strange, and I know that many progressives are right now holding their nose and going, what in heaven's name? But you have to look at the stakes. So it's up to you where you put your vote. So this brings me to a final interview that was to say the least, at least, incredibly interesting. The Hill had a feature broadcast whereby they discussed the primary and its shortcomings. They discussed the possible presidency of Joe Biden. They looked at the debates to come and how they may unfold. The discussion fell upon the choice that Joe Biden could make for his running mate and potential vice president of the United States of America. They speculated on the type of individual that would be necessary to move Joe Biden into a favorable and enthusiastic position as the presumptive nominee, and therefore candidate for president of the United States of America. Many names were bandied around, but it was difficult to generate a name that could cause the mass enthusiasm that the progressive side and the base would really jump behind. I mean, of course, Bernie Sanders would be the absolute best pick, but I don't believe Bernie Sanders would accept that unless his followers were 100% behind pushing him in that direction. So interviewers on the Hill straight up asked Nina Turner if she would consider being Joe Biden's running mate. Nina Turner, who was one of the driving forces behind the Bernie Sanders campaign and the movement. She is a leader in this movement. She has been passionately leading these people towards a better path for the common people, for blue-collar workers, for working people, for poor people, for immigrant people, for all who would benefit from an amazing presidential candidate like Bernie Sanders. So her subsequent response is one that will go down in the history books. When asked, Nina Turner, who of course is that driving force for Bernie Sanders and the progressive movement, she responded like this. She says, "She is too much of a truth teller for establishment Democrats to have her as the vice presidential running mate." Of course, that is not a quote, but captures the essence of her response. Basically, she's saying, these other people are so blasted corrupt. They could never even imagine bringing somebody into the fold who would tell nothing but the truth. In conclusion, I state that I am quite worried about the enthusiasm level of the Democratic core and supporters to come out and support Joe Biden. Without an exciting, polarizing, and blue-collar worker-friendly VP pick. We know he already stated he would pick a woman, checking one of the boxes. He did not rule out women of color. But if you ask Joe Biden who he would really like to have as his running mate, would it come as a surprise to any of you if I told you that it was Michelle Obama? That's correct. A while back, I had referred to, half jokingly, Michelle Obama running for president, which she said many times she would never do. But if she took the position as Joe Biden's running mate, based on the present conditions, I predict that shortly into his presidency, that is, of course, if they were to win, which I seriously think her enthusiasm among the people would drive him way over the top, that Michelle Obama would be allowed to become the first woman president of the United States of America. I am confident that if she joined the ticket, he would win. And I am equally as confident that he would have no choice but to step aside, not far into his presidency, and allow her to become the one who smashed the entire ceiling. What are your thoughts? Please leave me your opinions in the comment section. And again, I predicate that thought on a possible cognitive decline that seems to be evident to most of us. Leave your respectful comments. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for growing content, become a member, crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing. Once again, folks, I say never give up and never give in, but always keep an open mind because knowledge is power. Please regain your power, do your research, keep yourself informed. Always an informed electorate is the one that actually prevails. So keep yourself informed. Don't be sheeple. So please stay safe, stay healthy, while doing your utmost to stay as happy as humanly possible. And this is again where we mention all of our future sponsors. And credit to our very first sponsor, Baden Optical in beautiful Ontario, Canada. So until next time, thank you very much for spending time with us here on this channel. We hope to see you often and regularly.